So, hello and welcome to all. Thank you very much. So, how many first years are present here? So, as better question would be, how many of you have started computer programming? About now? Not a lot, right? How many of you know a coding language? Like, have any of you started C, C++? Yeah, that's what example. Right. So this session would mainly be a roadmap or an introduction to computer programming, so that you can start computer programming because, first of all, honestly, most of you will be starting it for like a job, right? Because it is required for coding rounds and like job interviews. So it's very important for that. So it's best that you start now and start competing. But also there is a very large culture around computer programming as well, where many institutes from around the world compete, like many big competitive programming contests like ICPC and so on. So I'll be giving a roadmap. It will be of around half an hour. And the rest half of an hour you can have, we will have a Q&A session. So hopefully you will have enough doubts up until then, so you can ask me. So let's get started. So first, what is computer programming, right? It's basically a mind sport, like chess or something else, but it is much more common to math Olympiads that you used to give in school, like IMO, RMO, or something like that. You will have like mathematical problems, or in this case, computer science problems. Computer science, by computer science I mean mainly data structures and algorithms. It is a very huge field in computer science, and simple problems from that come in computer programming contests, and you have to solve them in a certain amount of time, and the one who solves the most wins the contest. The interesting thing about it is the problems itself are very logical, and like if you have given IMO, like the problem itself are so elegant that you do not get bored of them, right? You want to give them. So that's why this computer programming also is like a really good passion for many people like me and a lot of people in college right now as well. Because it's just so fun to like have it, and even after you graduate, even after you don't have much to get from computer programming, like as a job point of view, career point of view, you still have it as a hobby because it's just a really cool thing to be a part of, right? So there are many big CP contests like happening yearly, like big computer programming contests like ICPC. This is the most like influential, especially at college level, because only college students are allowed to do this. Right. So this is a contest which spans around 3,000 universities over 111 countries, and in World Finals I think like 30 countries came this year, like around 150 universities from 150 universities. Each university gave has a team of 3 students. These 3 students are representing this university at the World Finals, and they're competing to be the best. And this year, of course, MIT won. From India, IIT Guwahati won, and we came at 3rd in India out of the 8 teams that were participating. It is good performance, let me tell you. But yeah, it's a very good thing to be part of World Finals itself. It's a very huge thing to be part of that, because the competition is very tough. First, you will have an online round, which like students from all around India will be giving. Let's say around 3,000 teams will be participating in that. I'm not sure the exact numbers. But then you will have a regional contest. There are 4 regional contests. One is Gwalior, one is Amritapuri, and so on. And if you come out of like top 2 or top 3 out of these regional contests, already getting to online to regionals is in itself a very huge achievement. You can absolutely write it in your resume. But getting top 2 in that region, only then you will be able to proceed to World Finals. So, to be honest, like having that in your resume is the best thing ever, right? So here, of course, not only ICPC, there are other contests as well. For not college students, like when you have graduated, you are not in it right now. Yeah, for school students there is IOI. You might have heard of it. IOI is the most prestigious school competitive programming contest. Many school students give this. And if you're not in school or in college, then you have Google's Code Jam. This is the most prestigious from out of college. This is by Google. Google also host Kickstart. Kickstart is a more beginner-friendly one. So if you want to start with, you might want to do this. There are 8 contests all around the year of Kickstart. So that's like you can have a very good schedule with that. And there is Facebook Hacker Cup, and so on. Right. These are the massive yearly contests happening. There are weekly contests also going on some online communities. One of these communities, the most big one is Codeforces. Codeforces.com. This is the Russian site, and this will be hosting contests like weekly or even 2 per week, something like that. And it also has an inbuilt ego rating. The type that you have in chess, like if you perform good, you will be grandmaster, 2500 plus elo. If you're not performing well, you will be winning B, something like that. So this has elo rating. Most of the communities have an elo rating, and this elo can be also be put in your resume. Like this is also a good thing to have if you have a good elo there. Code share. This is an Indian community, and AdCoder. This is the Japanese community. These are the 3 main sites, I guess, that host weekly contests. So when you will be starting out, you'll most probably start giving contests in these 3 sites: Codeforces, Codeshare, and AdCoder. These 3 are the main ones to be starting out with. So I've been talking about how big competitive programming is. Let me give you an idea of what competitive programming, how it works, right? So you will have a contest. In contest, many people are giving the contest at the same time, let's say 10,000 or 20,000. Here you will have 5 to 6 problems to be solved in 2 hours, right? Each problem would be a coding problem, which will have a problem statement and some input that you are expected to have. So your code will take this input. And according to this input, you have to give some output, which will be checked by the intended output. And if the output matches the intended output, you will have a correct code and it gets accepted. Or if it's not, you get a wrong answer. But these problem statements would generally be on data structures and algorithm. But when you're starting out, there will be a lot less computer science. They will be much more on basic maths or logic system, right? So let me give you an example. Try to answer this, right? I am giving you a series, data series. Can you see the series? This OTTFFSSENTE. What will be the next letter?
T.
Hmm?
T.
Why T?
1, 2, 3 initial letters of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that's correct. We are just having the first initial letters of 1, 2, 3, and so on. Right. So this is a simple problem. You might immediately click with this problem like some people had, or you might take some time, give 2-3 minutes, and you might click it later on. Now a competitive programming problem, according revolving around this problem, would be given a number n, find out the nth letter in this case. Let's say I give you number n as T. So your output, your code should be written in such a way that your output should be T. Right? If I give you n as 12, your output should be T. Again, if I give you 10, 9, right? Your output should be n. Like that. So you have to write a code with all the if-else, all the conditional statements, This one solution might be you will first break it up into 1 to 10, then 10s to 100, then 100s to thousands, and then the later parts like hundreds to millions, millions to trillions, like that. You might break it like that, or you might first like call a library function which converts the number into into words. Like there might exist a library function like that, and you will use that directly and just output the first bit. These are two solutions. So this can easily be the first problem of a contest, right? The more advanced problems might look like, let me give you one other logic problem. This one is a really popular interview problem as well, so some of you might know. You are given 25 horses, right? Let's say these are horses, and you have a racing track of 5 lanes. 1, 2. So these are the lanes, right? And you will have a first line. And you can run a race out of these 25 horses. You can pick 5 of them out, put them here, H1, H2, etc. And you can find which comes first, which comes second, etc., which comes fifth. Now, your target is, like, the problem is, you have to find out the top 3 horses out of these 25 horses in the minimum amount of races. Did you understand? Like you can, of course, like if you pick 5 horses, you can find which is the first horse, which is the second horse, etc. in one race. Run a second race of different 5 horses, you can find the first horse out of them. So on, so on. If you pick the first horse out of all of the first that came, right? If you run 5 races like this, and so on. Let's see, this comes first, so I'm picking a greater sign like this, and so on. So you can have a race between these first horses, and you can get the first horse which wins, which is the fastest out of these 25, like so. You have to find the first horse, the second horse, and the third horse. Does anybody know how many races it would take?
7.
How many think it would be 6? How many think it would be 7? How many are thinking it would be 8? And how many does not have an answer at all? Okay. So the rest are taking like 8 or greater, right? 9 or greater. So the answer here, like you would have to think a lot here, of course. Do you require more time to think on this? Yeah. So let's think on this for a second. Everybody has an answer, right? So still, how many think the answer is 6? How many of you think the answer is 7? How many of you think the answer is 8? How many of you think the answer is 9? And 10? I give you a hint, the answer is not more than 10. So the solution, the final answer is 7. The people that got 8, really good job, like you could have like authorized to 7, I think. And the people who got 7, excellent. I don't know how you got 6. But the solution is, of course, the first 5 races you have to like take into account all the horses, right? You can't just leave out a horse. So for the first 5 races, like I'll just draw a directed line like this to indicate that this horse is faster, right? So the first 5 races, first race will be from these 5 horses. So let's, without loss of generality, you can put them like this. And the second race, the third race, the fourth, the fifth. Right? So in the first 5 races, you at least have accounted for all the horses. No horses left out. It can't be the first now. And now you have a sort of simple ordering of the horses, but you don't know which race was the fastest, right? So for that, you have to take a race like this pick the fastest race horses out to follow them. I don't know whether this is optimal, but you do get an optimal answer using this. You cannot get an answer 6, that can be proven, and you do get an answer 7 with the approach that I'm going to tell you. In that approach, you take the first fastest horses and have a race between them. Right? Without lots of generality again, you can put them as the fastest and the slowest. Right? Now you have the first horse here, and this is definitely the fastest horse. You need the second fastest horse and the third fastest horse. What are the options that those two can have? Right? In this, let's say I make them this coordinate. So this has the coordinate 1, 1, this has coordinate 5, 5, this has 1, 5, etc. So which of these horses would have can be the second fastest horse?
2, 1, 1,
2, 1, and 1, 2, right? This and this guy. Right. Which can be the third fastest horse? Of course, this third diagonal can be the third fastest horse. Any other horse that can be the third fastest? Yeah, correct. The second diagonal one. Let's say this was the second fastest horse. This can still be the third fastest horse, right? We can't account this out for the third fastest. This can be the second fastest, this can be third fastest, or this can be second, this can be third, this can be second, this can be third, this can be second, this can be third. Those are around all of the combinations that we have. So what are the possible number of horses that you have to look at? These 5. Just one more race in them, and you will, the first horse gets out of them, and the second horse will get. Did everyone get this solution? So yeah, this is the kind of problem that can appear in computer programming. Of course, this has relation to computer programming, not just something else. Right. The problem can be made instead of 25 horses, let's make them n horses, and instead of 5 horses per race, let's make them m horses. So now these n and m are variable. You can have like 1,000,000 horses, and the number of horses per each race, you have like 10 to the power 1,000. Right? Now you have to find the first segment. How do you do that? That's right. Like you can have a problem like this. Right? So these are the kind of problems that you'll be seeing first in like computer programming. As you get more efficient in that, you will eventually get to the second problem, and the second problem is generally computer science problem. By computer science, I mean an algo DS. What happens is you can always create a solution for some problem. It's not difficult to find a solution, but finding a good solution, a solution which doesn't take too much time. That is the main point or the problem, like the main difficulty in computer programming. You have to find a solution where its time taken, the time taken by the code itself, isn't long. The generally time limit of most of the computer programming problems is 1 to 2 seconds, or it can be 5 seconds, but it doesn't usually exceed 10 seconds, right? So your code should finish in 10 seconds. Your code can't like take 100 years, but it will give the correct output. It can't do that. That is the main issue, and that is where algorithm and data structures, the main computer science fundamental comes in. And the more you practice that, the more you get good in algo DS, and the more you have like grasp of computer science. Right. So let's look at how you can start with computer programming. As most of you are first years, I'll mainly be starting with the first thing that you can do. If you want to start computer programming, is learn a language. Right? Any language. The language choice doesn't matter nearly as much. Lots of people have some issue that C++ is the language that you should start with. Of course, it's better, but if you already know Python, just start practicing. It doesn't matter that C++ is better. You have to switch to C++ first, right? You can start with C++. You can start with Python, Java, whatever. And C is kind of not recommended. C has a lot of problems. I mean, it is fast, but you don't have a lot of flexibility doing computer. Right? CS 101 course, right? The CS 101 course will be taught to you and you will learn C in that, but it's not the type of C that like you wouldn't be really getting better at like actually practicing with that course, and it's in your next semester. You have to like you can start now. It usually takes like 1 week or 2 weeks at max, right? For studying these, you can do Bucky courses. There is a online video tutorials named Bucky tutorials of C++. You can start with that, or you can do Python Bucky tutorials. Or if you are more into teaching, you can pick up GFG. GFG is short form for Geeks for Geeks. It's a large online site where there are a lot of talks. You can pick up C++ BSD course or something like that. You can read that. What I did was I just searched C++ learn online, whatever site came up, I just read from that. It really isn't a big of an issue, and like usually you can learn the fundamentals in 1 or 2 days. It doesn't matter much, right? So this is the first step, but this is not the critical step. You just have to learn the fundamentals. The more critical step here is to start practicing. Right. So practice is to be done. If you are starting out, the site to start practicing at is hackerrank.com. Right. All of the processes this will be your okay. Make an account at hackerrank.com. Right. I'm not sharing for this site, but it's like this site has the most easier problems, the most beginner-friendly problems that you will get, and the UI is great and everything. So it's really beginner-friendly, and like it will start your first practice. The first problems are very easy. Given two integers, like print the sum of them, right? Code like that, which doesn't take too much. But starting practicing, right? Starting to get that feedback loop of yeah, I'm getting accepted answers. That's the most important thing here. And once you get like 10, 20 problems deep, the problems will start to challenge you a bit, and then you will get really good practice. Right? So the most important thing is to start practicing. Make an account at hackerrank.com. Start practicing. It will take you like you can do practice here for like a month without needing anything else. First, of course, you have to learn a language. Only the fundamentals like loop, arrays, etc. And once you practice for about a month, you will have a normal grasp on how to code something, given a problem, how to convert it to code, right? That's the most important thing that you will get out of it. And then you can start with the computer science fundamentals that I was talking about. So to do that, the first thing you have to do is learn STL, right? STL is a C++ concept, but there is a Python equivalent. You can search STL in Python and you will probably get some links. I'm not too sure how to learn that. But STL is the inbuilt library of many data structures and algorithms in C++, right? So it has algorithms like sorting, like it has implementations of dynamic array, vectors, and so on. Like it has a lot of internal implementations, right? So learning them, what they mean, first of all, like what do vectors mean, what do sorting mean, what does binary search mean, and so on. Learning them and then learning how to use these functions is going to get you a massive jump in your computer programming, right? So learn STL in C++, and probably that will be the, once you learn STL, you can start competing in contests. You can go back, start competing in, I erased it now, but Codeforces, CodeChef, and AdCoder, right? These three are the major computer programming contests, and you can start competing in them once you have learned STL. Right? This is the first, like the most efficient way to start computer programming computers. And in your first year, you are probably going to get up until STL. You can get further than that, but your goal should be to complete STL and start competing in contests. As soon as you get to contest, as soon as you are going to hit the main thing, the main appeal of computer programming, right? After that, if any of your second years and want to get to new heights, what you have to do is compete in contests. Once you hit that, there isn't much of a roadmap ahead. Right? You can study new algorithms, data structures, stuff like that. There is a study part. This is like amount to the 5% of your computer programming experience. And the second part, which is the practice part, this is 95%. Like chess generally has like 60%, 40%, other like mind sports generally have a good mix of study and practice. Computer programming, unfortunately, is a pure practice part. You can't do a lot of study to do anything. Once you hit the giving contest part, right? Before that, you have to study languages and all. For studying, there are a couple of good books, CSE and Handbook. For first year, you don't really need to know all this. You will learn this when you get to that stage. But you can take notes if you want. CSES, there is CP3, Pacific 7. And online there is a cpalgorithms.com, which is also good. Second year, third year, probably will know all these three. But yeah, these are very good. Do not go with CLRS. Some people do that. They fall in that trap. CLRS is the Bible for algorithms and data structures. It is the go-to book for any algorithm and data structure study, especially in research. But it is a 1300-page book with pure mathematical language and one that will not help you at like secondary level stage. Right? So do not go with CLRS. For practice, the main loop that you are going to want to stick to for practice is give contest. Right? Give every contest, don't give a single contest. Even if like search Codeforces, if there is a contest happening, give that. Search CodeChef, search AdCoder, search if there is some ICPC online going on or like HackerRank online or something like that. Give all of them. If there is no current contest going on, give virtual contest, which is going back in time and giving contests which have already happened. Right? Give all of them. And once you give contest, like you will solve some first X problems. Maybe you solve the first two problems, you're going to solve the third one, you solve first three, you're going to solve four problems. Right? So solving the first X problems would help you in speed, which is one core part of computer programming. Like the more fast you are solving the earlier questions, the more time you have to solve the later question. And the X plus 1 question which you couldn't solve, right? Upsolve that. Upsolve means to go after the contest, look at that problem and see what was it that like I got stuck on, what was it that I have to learn to solve this problem, and everything, like code that problem, get that accepted, etc. Right? So these are the two main parts, give contest, and once you have given the contest, go to the next problem that you couldn't solve, upsolve that. Using this, you will be learning a lot of new tricks and like a lot of new concepts that you can't really study with these books, right? These books give you the core framework of computer programming or like the core framework of DSA. The tricks that you have to learn will come from practice itself, so like upsolving or solving, right? And reasoning. So this is the main like loop that you want to be stuck in during the practice. Of course, you can try like individual practice as well, but that is much more like advanced stuff. You don't really have to like individual practice outside of that. You can practice up until this level, and one good like a goal that I can give such that you know that you are prepared for job interviews, right? You do not have to do anything else to like get selected anywhere that you want. It's like 1800 rating at Codeforces, right? If you reach 1800, like you don't have to worry about job placements anymore. You will like you don't have to worry about the algo DS part mainly. That's what I'm talking about. You will be sure that you will be able to clear the coding round. You will be able to clear the algorithm round. You just have to worry about the system coding rounds and like the HM round. So those are the later two concerns. Those doesn't concern you right now. So an 1800 Codeforces rating is the main goal that you should be reaching for before your like second year interns, right? And there are a lot of second years, right? Any second year here? No, right? You are there. Like the main advice that I want to give for you as second year, and you will be reaching second year soon, right? For like your intern period, reserve 1 to 2 months at the last for like revising your computer science fundamentals like OS, DBMS, like operating system database, and like object-oriented programming and so on. Like reserve time for that, and also study like classical DSA algorithms, like reversing a linked list, stuff like that, which you don't normally do in computer programming. Once you do that, you will be really good for like your intern period, right? Which will be coming next year. Okay. So yeah, this was like my main advice for all the first year, second years. Best advice left for ICPC people that want to give ICPC. The next onlines for you would be coming at I think in 6 months. Like the next 6 months, I think the next online round of ICPC will coming up. You don't have to worry about that. Just give it for fun. I like do not expect anything to come out of it. You can practice for your second year ICPC. In that one, you can expect a lot more. But this one, just give for fun. Make a team. Check out what you can have from that, right? The ICPC advice I will give you. So yeah, that was that for the roadmap. Now, any questions? Aman? Questions?
If you have any questions, you can raise your hand.
Hey, you're in the back. You can stand up. Right. In your first year, I think CPI is really important, right? So if you aren't aiming for 10 CPI, like the nahi chahiye, so you can aim for 8.5 plus CPI, right? CPI is really important, especially in your first year, and 8.5 plus CPI in your first year is really good, and you can maintain that in your concurrent years. Getting like if you have an 8.5 CPI after your first year, getting lower than an 8.2 CPI is like impossible at the end of your graduation, right? So get an 8.5 CPI, prepare at least that. Your first year studies is important. But if you have time remaining from that, you will have a lot of time remaining, right? Because to get a CPI, you only have to study for like last 2 weeks or last 1 week. I usually study for like the last week, right? Like before your end since like last semester?
First semester.
First semester. Did you have a mid-sem yet?
No.
You don't have to study a lot, right? Even if you study a lot, it's not going to gain you much. The only people who study a lot are the people that are aiming for 10 CPA or something, right? And I'm not one of those people. Most people are not, right? So you can have a lot of free time to do. I have a final CPI of I think 8.7. 8.7 is like okay. If generally considering the online sem, I think the average CPI was around 8.3, considering online sem. In offline sem, the like average CPI falls to 7, but yeah, you can still of course like aim for 8 plus. 8 plus is like good for jobs and everything. If you're aiming for MS or something, then you have to get a 9 plus or 9.5 plus, but that's what I would say. Rating that Codeforces.
harder than getting from
Yeah.
1800 to 21?
No. 1800 to 2100 is comparatively harder than 1500 to 1800.
So
It's like that.
exponentially.
21 to 24 like really hard, and 24 to 28 is like impossible. Most people can't do it. It's a standard ecosystem, right? So it's a bell curve. Most of the people are situated in the middle, which is 1400, and you have lots of people below that. Anyone else?
When will we know when we will switch from hacker rank to Codeforces?
How will we know to go to hacker and to Codeforces? You can just go there. I mean, you probably will know. Like right now, you might be thinking like it might be different, but like solving questions from hacker rank would start feeling like repetitive, and like you wouldn't get a kick from it. You can just go to Codeforces, check out the first problem, see how hard is that, and so on. Right? It's like you can go to Codeforces at any time. You don't have to restrict yourself to hacker rank. Codeforces also has like previous problems, previous contests, stuff like that. Just go to previous problem, sort by difficulty. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask is Python good enough? Because I have heard somewhere that Python is not used.
Python is not used, right? Python is not used especially after you get 1800 plus. After 1800 plus, it starts impacting your computer programming thing, because it is 10 times slower than C++. So like if you have a code like which runs in 0.5 seconds, it will run in 5 seconds in Python, and you will get a time load XP. So it starts impacting at that level, but in the initial levels, you won't get a problem which like is discriminating between Python and C++. And trust me, once you get 1800, switching languages would be like child's play. You can like just switch to Python to C++ and do what.
Should I shift to some other language like C++ or C or something else?
No, start with Python. If you know Python, start with Python. Like, don't waste time currently to try to switch. You can switch later, and it will be much easier later. कोडिंग के लिए मैकबुक नहीं चलती है, उल्टा है। मैकबुक मतलब हाँ, विंडोज में कर लो बेटर है, लिनक्स मशीन कर लो और बेटर है। मैकबुक तब लो जब एक ऑफिस दे रहा हूँ, खुद से मत लो। Any other questions? Hey, guys. Already at which one? Courtship. It's fine. It's fine. Like you can do courtship as well as Codeforces. If you don't have time to go to Codeforces, sure, continue the courtship. Courtship is like, I think past year it was kind of not that good in quality, but it has really brought back its quality. So you can continue with courtship, no problem. You can pick any one of them three if you don't have time. But like, if you want to really get into it, do all those three. Like, do all of them. Any other questions? What things do you take? Yeah.
I want to solve now. I want to proceed to solve C problem.
Yeah.
How do I solve it?
Right. During the contest, you took a look at the problem C, right? And you tried to solve it, but couldn't cover it. So what usually is the thing to do there is right. You have the problem, and you of course will get the tutorial of it and the solution code like the tutorial part. In Codeforces especially, you have the editorial part where you get the solution. Look at the solution and like just find out, like take hints from that. Generally they have hints as well, right? Look at the hint, try to find out if you can upsolve from there, that one. Like look at half of the solution, try to find out if you can upsolve it now. If you still can't, go to like next half and see if you can solve it, and go incrementally in the solution try to look at which point can you solve it. If you still can't, like if there is some new thing in the solution, right? Let's say the solution is contains Dijkstra algorithm, and you haven't heard of Dijkstra algorithm. Just search Dijkstra algorithm in Google, find the first link that comes up, open it, read it up, and then try to solve the problem. Do not delay the problem to a later date. Oh, it contains Dijkstra. I'll cover it when I learn Dijkstra. Like just look at Dijkstra now, read it, and try to solve it at that point only, and try to code it up completely at that point. Yeah. Look at solution and look at code. It's not like a wrong thing to try to look at solution. You don't have to wait like a whole day practicing on your own to try to think about the solution on yourself. Like you can look at solution, which is like present in the solution part. You don't have to restrict yourself. Not any other questions? Ethical hacking. I don't know much here. It's I tried to pick it up in first year, and no, it's I tried to do capture the flags. Have you heard of them? Capture the flags online, capture the flag community, right? So maybe start with them. Those are the, I think, the beginner friendly ethical hacking point to start at. Like online capture the flags, just search capture the flag. But I don't know much from that. Any questions?
End of first year, how much rating should we give?
By the end of first year, you should aim, you should aim to just start contributing. If you do that, I'll be happy. Just starting on it, because most of the people starting in college in third year or fourth year. When they have the final point has come, they have to prepare for job, then they should get it. Right? Just start in the first year, you will have a huge edge in front of you. First year, my seniors came up like this, and they started motivating us that, okay, start working on whatever you should start coding right now. And I was motivated by that. My senior, Anil Gupta and India, you know that. Those two people mainly motivated me, and I started because of them in my end of first semester, and since then, yeah, I have been doing coding.
Okay, so obviously you guys would have seen a lot of resources for C++ Python, and so Coding Club, as you guys know, is a club that does all these coding events and has competitions and posts resources. So what you guys can do is, you guys can just Google Coding Club IITG link tree. So Coding Club IITG link tree. Link tree. So this is basically, we have all our content posted in the form of links, and there's the Discord server link is there that has all the projects, different courses, different workshops that we conduct. It has all the resources for CP, it has resources for Python, different app development, web development course. And you guys can, so we actually, Coding Club does have a C++ course called cp.begin, and so if you go on the link tree, you will be finding the link for cp.begin, and it has all the concepts that we have mentioned, and like STL, everything. So it's included in that. So and it's made for beginners. Like most of the courses we do, they all have no prerequisites, so anyone can start learning. So if anyone wants to learn C++ in December, in the mid-December, if they want it, they want to take the opportunity to learn a language, they can go on the link tree and get access to most of the courses you have done. And so also in the future we will be conducting a lot of CP contests by the Coding Club. So it will be a very good way for you guys to get practice, and since the competitions will be conducted by us, it will just be the seniors who is conducting. So you can easily contact anyone for doubts, you can ask for guidance at any time. So yeah, I mean, if anyone's interested, do join the Discord server. It's on the link tree only, so you'll get a lot of links there, access there.
And it's a very good motivation to try to beat your like batchmates.
Yeah, so
That
it'll
was
be
the main thing that
exactly
motivated me.
since it's going, the competitions will be within IITG. It will be a good ranking to gauge where you are, what you can do, what you can. So and obviously guidance is also important. So contacting seniors will it will help you understand where to go, what next you should learn maybe. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll add a few things. We'll be releasing a fresh CP.begin course in December. So you can check Discord for updates. And also we'll be having ICPC camp in the month of January or February. So we'll be having lectures here. They'll be by third year rights and fourth year rights. So you can all come and see some advanced topics and if you want to learn.
Yeah, like all the information regarding all of this is generally announced on the Discord and on Instagram. Even on Instagram, if you search Coding Club IITG, you'll see the account and you can follow it to get updates for everything. So we obviously, again, as I said, all the events are completely free, open to all, and they generally have no prerequisites. So anyone can come and attend, and it's a good opportunity to connect with your seniors also because they can help you in a lot of different fields.
Okay, so yeah, that ends our session. Thank you all for coming.
ICPC World Finalist, especially you, sir. You can stay behind and ask any doubts if you have, especially concerning ICPC and like how to get it.